Welcome to Rajesh Technologies. Now we are going to understand the concept of check buttons, how we are going to apply to our Windows applications, nothing but the GUI applications. So go to the project. So previously I created a gender app. So it gives we can select both either male or female. If you select a male, the male will be displayed. Otherwise, female will be displayed in the message box. Now we are going to understand the concept of the check buttons. Using check buttons, we are going to do some task. While compared to radio buttons will perform mutual exclusive option. That means if you select one option, remaining all options will be disabled. But check buttons, you can select any number of buttons, you can check any number. For that particular purpose, we will use check button. So now I am going to create another program for check buttons. So this is for hobbies. How many hobbies you have? I will give some hobbies. Anything hobbies, or you can select a particular favorite languages like this. I will go for hobbies. Okay, anyone you can do. So now my task is you can select the hobbies. Four hobbies. I am going to create four check buttons. So if you select the check buttons three, then it will display you have three hobbies. If you select two, then it will display you have two hobbies. Now right click, new Python file. My Python file name is hobbies test. Hobbies test. Okay. Now let us create, every time we are using tkinter.tk like this. So that's why now I want to use directly the classes and methods. Now we are going to write from tkinter. From tkinter, we are going to select a particular module. From tkinter, we are going to import star. That means all the things you can use directly without the reference of the name. Now, first we need to create a window. W equals to, so tk. Tk is the predefined class. We know that. Followed by w dot title to give the title of this particular window. The title of this particular window is hobbies test. Hobbies test. Next, w dot geometry. It is used to set the height and width of the window. So let us take, it is 450 cross 450, height and width 450 and 450 are provided, and I will provide some configuration. W dot configuration, you will provide the background color. The background color is, you can put any background color like green. Background color I am going to put. Now finally we will call w dot main loop. Now internally what I needed for the check buttons. Let us go and understand for one check button. I have a way, I need to create a boolean variable because it gives the value either 0 or 1. If you put check button checked, then it returns 1. If it is check button is not true, that means we are not disabled, then it will becomes 0. So how to create the check button? Let us first create a label. So label is the predefined class. It must be displayed within the window. So now I am directly writing the label because I don't use directly tkinter dot label, because of in previous programs I directly written import tkinter. Now we are going to use directly classes, objects, everything, because from tkinter import star. So window, and text equals to, I provided like hobbies hobbies selection is my label text. Next, you can define the foreground and background. So BG refers to background. The background color we applied for red, and the foreground color FG is foreground. Foreground color you can apply white, and you can define some font. In previous programs, every time every time I call the font, every time I am declaring the font. So I am declaring a variable font1 f1 equals to, I am taking some row. In this particular row, I have the font name Times New Roman is the font name, comma, and font size you can define, and font size you can define like this. I am also defining another font. Sometimes I use f1 font, sometimes I use f2 font, and little bit size is little bit more, comma, and I'm going for style also here, bold. So now I will use the font f2 here. Font is an attribute, it takes the tuple is a font f1. Now f1 is my font, it will be applicable. Now label.lab.pack is the method I am going to use for the layout. So pack function gives uh, pack to the layout. So I am going to fill the entire I want to fill the label. Before going to that, let us see how the window is going to appear. Right click and run. I'm getting hobby selection. This hobby selection must be placed in the entire width must be occupied. So how can I do? Using pack fill x-axis small x and comma, that means x-axis means the entire x-axis will be filled, and expand I'm going to give, expand is an attribute, I'm going to give true. Okay, now right click, run. So I am getting at center, I want to place at the top. So I will fill this x-axis, and we are also going to write any side equals to, I will go for top because it must be displayed at top. Using side attribute, I will display at top. Right click and run. Still it is not coming exactly. X-axis, let me remove these all things, it will display or not. Fill x and top. Okay, it is okay. Okay, at top it is going to display the hobbies test. Now we are going to create, now we are going to add some check buttons at the center. At the center I want to add some check buttons, chk 1 for first hobby, check button. Check button is the predefined class, it must be displayed within the window. And text you can define, the text is reading books, reading books, comma, you can also apply the foreground, background, etc. I'm going to apply the font, font equals to f1. I'm going for f1, font equals to f1, and this check button chk1 dot place, I will use place function. X is at 100 and y is equals to 100, it will be placed at x-axis and y-axis. Let me see how it is going to appear. See here, it is going to appear reading books. Here you can put select and you can unselect. Okay. Similarly, if you want to put the background and foreground also, you can put the background, foreground, etc. if you want. Similarly, you can choose some other important attributes. Is the important attribute is on value. Yes, comma. You must put comma here. Here, comma. On value is 1 and off value you must give these two things for every checkbox. Off value is 0. You must give for each and every checkbox this check button, on value and off value. And every check button will use one variable. In radio buttons, all the radio buttons will use one variable, but here every checkbox will use one variable. See here, chk chk var 1 for first checkbox. It is of Boolean variable. Boolean variable. It is of Boolean variable. First checkbox. It is of Boolean variable. And another important attribute is variable. This check button will use this particular variable. That means it is going to store either 1 or 0. So 1 means true, 0 means false. Any one value will be stored in a variable. What is the variable name? chk var 1. So chk var 1. So it is important. You need to give on value, off value and variable. Now you are going to perform the operation. If it is on or off, how can I perform? Using a command and using a function. See here, I am going to define a function, some function. Define the function. Fn is a function, or check status I will give. Check status is my function name. Check status is my function name. One second. Check status. Here I need to write some code. Here I need to write some code. What is that? So create a variable equals to chk 1 var I am getting the data from this particular variable, either it is 1 or 0. chk var 1 dot get function I will use. If p, that means 1. If it is true, we are going to display the message box show info. Show info is not obtaining because we need to import the library. So from tkinter dot message box import star, we need to put this one. Now we will get show info. So info you selected. I am displaying you selected that particular box. That means you selected this reading books. Otherwise, else you can put show info. Show info you unselected. That means you deselected. So now here we must put a column. Now you need to check this particular program. Only one check box will be there. One check button will be there. If you put checked, it will be displayed you selected. If you unselected, it display you deselected. Let us go and see how can it is going to possible through command function. Through command function, comma command is equals to, what is the function name? That is check status is the function name. We must, whenever check button, whenever you are going to click on this particular button, this command will work. Check button, check status will work. Now right click, run. Now see here, this is reading books. If you select, okay, message you selected will be displayed in the message title, but I need here, okay, you deselected is going to display here. Now, but we need to give, that is the title. You message box title is status. I will give status. Here also I will give the status. Okay. Status. Okay. Now see here, right click, once again run the program. So if you click reading books, you selected, the status is you selected. You deselected, the status is you deselected. So this is the operation for single radio button. Similarly, you can create any radio number of radio buttons. I will create other 4 check buttons, and how many hobbies you have, I will tell you in the next video.